Okay, welcome everybody. Hello, this is Ryan Orrock, and I'm very, very spoiled to be here with Zephira today.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, Zephira. Zephira is a belly dancer. I just found out she's a writer, she's an astrologer, she's a model. Most important, not a model. Let me say that again. All right, let's start out.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah, all right. I've seen her model. I've seen her modeling. It's beautiful.
Sometimes.
Beautiful photos. Okay, she's a writer. She's a model, and an astrologer, and a dancer, and most importantly, for our purposes today, she is one of the lineage of the White Tigress tradition. So, thank you and welcome, Zephira.
Thank you very much for your hospitality in here. And if I can introduce you to this, let's say, tradition, I have to say first that it belongs to Taoism, but it has roots before Taoism. It is the female part, the female version of Taoism. And I have to say that most that we know nowadays in the mainstream of Taoism and yoga, it's all on the male path. The white tigress, it's a symbol that, like the dragon, it refers to the power of the feminine sexuality and life force. As there are two symbols very different, the dragon and the tigress, this means that the paths are different. And they can meet, like they can fuse at a certain time, but mainly the esoteric path is different for the dragon and for the tigress. At least for my experience, I found out that it is like that. The behavior of the white tigress is an esoteric path that, of course, it can be done in only a part of life, let's say like in the young age or for a few years, but it is an esoteric path. And if your goal is to become a master, is not compatible with family life. Because like monks, it requires a different way of living that you are supposed to have that is really not compatible with family life. White Tigress is also, let's say in a way, a monk, but the monk doesn't mean that there are sexual restrictions in the way that in the modern times we think, because sex is part of life. But the white tigress, in the esoteric way, like the dragon, they use sexual energy to achieve immortality. Immortality, the longevity of the youthful state of the body, and the incarnation of in another, let's say, astral body after death, if it may occur, or even a master in this art can decide to transmigrate in the astral body, even if it's not the moment of death. So the main goal of this esoteric path is to keep the youthful state of the body, the mind, the spirit, and collect the most power and energy that it's possible to do, and transform it in spiritual force. So if you have any question, we can go further.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot in there. Thank you so much. The first question is, when you say dragon, are you referring to men and male and the masculine when you say that?
Yeah, the male yoga part, which is the basically all the yoga that we know nowadays in the mainstream, it's basically on the male path. So
Okay,
yes.
so you call that the dragon path.
Yeah, it is the dragon path, yes.
Okay.
Of course, there are involved women, but because many don't know the existence of the female part.
Right. So why is it? I mean, okay, we talked about this yesterday a little bit, but I've been in the world of sacred sexuality and alternative sexuality for a very long time, and I've never met a white tigress before. So
Because
why is it so rare? Go ahead.
because the tradition is dying.
Right. And why?
Because they have made a choice centuries and decades ago, where they allowed the male part to be on the mainstream and to be divulgated, while the female counterpart has become a minority. Mainly, I think because, first of all, the women that do this kind of art, they don't want to talk because they were persecuted in Asia, first of all. And in the end, it becomes like some kind of forbidden art, because it is not beneficial to the standard life of people. Because even in Asia, even if you go, except the really matriarchal societies, the rare ones, it's all based on the male power. And I don't mean just that the men are on the lead. I mean like really like electricity pole. They are polarized in the male side. So even if there are women, you know, there are many women that go for meditation, for yoga and stuff like that. But most of them, first of all, they don't know the existence of the female yoga. And the ones that even that they know, they prefer to stay on the male path because they feel safer. While the White Tigress also, it requires really a strong life choice that it's not easy to take. So I think these are the reasons. We have only one book talking about the White Tigress, that it's from Tao Traditions by Xilai. It's the only one, and then there are some articles here and there in English, of course, maybe in Chinese or in Russian or other Asian languages. We can find other documents, but we don't have much. Because they didn't want intentionally to divulgate this art. So I think these are the main reasons why this is happening.
Okay, I get that. So the next question that comes up is, achieve immortality. You would think everyone would want to do that. So how does the path work? What do you have to do as a white tigress?
First of all, I have my doubts that everybody would like to achieve immortality, because I have been known like many people in the esoteric world from different backgrounds and traditions, and no, they most talk about transmigration of the soul. They talk about reincarnation in some sort, but actually there are not really many that want to work on the youthful state on the body. So what it requires to do is, first of all, and probably is where we all start and finish, because to find the second step, it's really some kind of a miracle. It is to keep the body in the youthful state. So this means that you need to put your biological clock backwards. And you must have physical results. How the White Tigress does is through mainly sexual activity, but it's not with intercourse. At least it's really small part of it. And then we have some physical activity that can relate to yoga or acrobatics, as we can figure out, and dance, or martial arts, because it was really Taoism, of course, is really connected to martial arts. But I mean, it's not a must. The only thing that you really need to do is to have some kind of physical activity. If you integrated it in dance or martial arts, I found out in the end it's the same result. So this is what basically you have to do: collect energy and transform the energy. Another way to help your body is to use supplements, certain kind of supplements that are in Chinese medicine very famous, like the use of Angelica sinensis, that is called the female ginseng, but also ordinary Korean ginseng and American ginseng, and other herbs that they are really famous in the alternative medicine world. And of course, you can integrate with more like modern stuff that we have available nowadays, because they were using this kind of supplements because they didn't know other. So they work, but maybe the principle is the same. But you know, the more we find out in the research, the more is available. This is so you need to keep your body youthful, otherwise you won't have the power to produce the astral child that you need for immortality.
Okay, I'm going to come back to many questions about that.
Yeah.
But before I do, let me start out with where are you from? What's your background? How did you get into this?
Look, my background is really varied. Let's say that since childhood, really early childhood, like I was like, my first memories are when I was 8 months old. So I had some kind of memory before birth, and I found myself later on like in many kind of we have to say paranormal activities, which for my family were not really ordinary stuff at all. And then of course I grew up Catholic, but I had an issue with the priest in my town, because let's say that I saw that they were putting the papers and documents like in a primary place instead the real stuff, the real holy stuff that they had. So I left it. I never came back. And then I found myself in learning shamanism from especially one teacher. I don't have his permission, so I don't say the name. Then I studied lots of exotic culture, but in everything that I was finding, there was always this polarity on the male side, which it is okay at a certain stage, but it was missing something. So it was happened one time that I found something about, I found something because of a friend told me about Taoism, and he told me that, look, that there is something that maybe it is for you. And I started researching about the female part, and finally I found some information about the White Tigress and the book of Xilai. Then, of course, I did more research. I did more research also from an astrology point of view, because astrology is a really wide subject. And then I decided to try to practice in real, to see what was happening. So basically it is that whatever I was finding, it was missing something. And now with this path, I have what was missing.
Okay, so, and also you're Italian?
Yes.
So born and raised in Italy?
No. I am Italian. Actually, I was living abroad. Like I was living in Iceland and Finland for a long time, and Belgium. So, but I was living like maybe for a period like of about 1 year each time. But basically, of course, my nationality is Italian and my roots are here and everything is here. So of course, I learned things there. Of course, that I had my life experiences, but I cannot say that I'm not Italian, no.
Okay, and we're gonna get into the secrets of the chronology of all that. I think you said later, so we'll get back to that. Okay, so you mentioned an astral child. What is an astral child?
Astral child is something that it's like to produce a child, like something external, like external body with the energy of the body. So it is sexual energy that can do this. It's the only life force that we have. And you need to transmutate the energy, the physical energy, into the spiritual energy. And this is very difficult. If let's say the practices are not working and you are not developing this, it won't happen. So when it happens, you realize, as they say, you realize it, and I think it's the only way you realize it, is that you feel even when you are in trance state, you can enter another body, and it is your body. So it's not that you have an astral child, like that you create another life in like independent life, but you use the sexual energy to create something that is spiritual. But it's something spiritual that can do let's say poltergeist things, if we can say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So and this body should take the form of a white tigress in the case of this female path, and dragon in the case of the male path. So this is it. And also what I can say, it should not be mistaken with the totem, because totem is totem, or like spirit helper, or whatever, how you want to call it. It is different. It's totally different thing. Tiger and dragon, they are major force. Let's say that they are like gods, that they teach you their ways. The totem is something that is with you. So it is similar, but it's not the same thing.
Okay, so the next question is, can anyone do this practice? Do you need some sort of special preparation?
No, not everybody can do this practice, because, as I said, it requires a really strong life choice. And it's not meant for everybody, like all esoteric paths are not meant for everybody. Let's say that for a period of life, if a woman, for example, also a man, needs to recover from something, or needs to feel strong again, let's say reborn from something, then it can be useful. But if they want to become masters, they have to give up like ordinary life. In a way that we think about ordinary life, I don't mean like they have to give up life and close themselves somewhere, and be hermits. No, but most likely they cannot have like a stable couple with anybody. They cannot, let's say, give the hope on their hopes on another person, let's say like this. And also this about having kids, it's something really delicate subject to to talk about and to deal with in general in this case. So basically, you know, the white tigress is hunting male energy around, and it's not just because it's not socially accepted. It is because she cannot have control of a man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are different kinds of tigresses, like how you deal with the path that they are, you know, famous in the in what we know about this tradition. Mainly, it is a tigress that needs to work with the master. They work with the master, and she needs like the master to pick her partners for, let's say, these sexual activities. Another way to the tigress path is to work with few chosen jade dragons, which they are basically partners that periodically they will work with the tigress. And one of the other ways is also the free tigress, the wandering tigress, that she must go and hunt herself and, you know, and do this without any leashes, any attachment. I mean, like without control. Okay, she does her own control. So these are three, and maybe there are even more ways, but basically avoiding intercourse and do everything based on oral sex and physical activity is, I don't think it's for everybody.
Okay, so we have, you said there's 4 different types of tigresses, right?
Yes, and yeah, I've said about 3. I will say the first, if I recall, if I can remember correct, it is the one that work basically with only one dragon. So this, I think it can happen only with people that they want to become masters, and one follow the dragon path, the other one follows the tiger's path, and they work only between each other. So I think this is really rare to achieve, and it must not be mistaken with the ordinary couple that wants a family, because
Right.
they live their own things separate, and they meet for these things.
So were you initiated into this somehow? How did you just started trying it? Is that how it works?
Basically, I have to say that I thank very much the author of the book, Xilai, for his help, for his monitoring, even by distance, you know. But the initiation in these things, especially with the traditions, are dying. You cannot have it from other people unless you are really, 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 really lucky to meet somebody that had success and it's doing the same thing that you want to do. In my case, I can say that I had an initiation because during a ritual, something happened. Something that I cannot talk about happened, and it was like a sign that was the right way, and it was working, beside the physical results. But it was a sign that, yes, it's here, it's real. You are not like making things up. This is real. So, yes. But if you have, you know, if I would have to help somebody else for this, I will guide the person until I think that she might try to look for this kind of confirmation and see what's happening for this person, because something must happen, let's say, in the other world. And a dream is not enough. You must be awake. So I will do like this, and for everybody, things are different. So maybe to somebody, they can meet the white tigress in real, the goddess, and maybe another one you know, can have like, it can see materialized objects, or to hear something that is not there, but you're awake, but it has the sign of this, you know, not just something random. So this is what I think, and I doubt that there are other ways.
So what kind of white tigress are you actually?
Maybe it is a secret, but I think it's quite clear that I'm a wandering one.
Okay. So do you have a jade dragon? Have you ever had a jade dragon?
Well, you have a jade dragon every time that you collect energy, but somebody that was in the path, no, but somebody that went on the dragon path afterwards, yes, but it doesn't match up the times, you know. So no, for the moment, I think that I keep hunting like this.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, there's jade dragons, which are the men on the path, but there's another man that are kind of the energy sources. I don't remember if there's a different term for that, but if it's still jade dragon, yeah, you can.
I think it's still jade dragon, because I think the difference is only that men offer their energy through oral sex, and some of them, they help the tigress with sexual intercourse, and it's not ordinary sexual intercourse. I mean, it is ordinary sexual intercourse, but not as they see it in the mainstream tantra.
Right, so not even tantric sexual intercourse.
It is yes and no. Something that they say that you must do, the tigress must not do. So, hey, sorry, yes. So this is also one of the reasons why I think maybe the male gurus in Asia, you know, and India, they avoided to divulgate this kind of art. Right. Because it's not beneficial to men. It doesn't do any harm, especially to the ordinary man. But it's not beneficial to men like the one that they are teaching.
Right. Okay. So they don't divulge that. I understand.
Let's say that the tiger could have another stereotype, like the virgin.
Yeah.
So it's not really the one that they talk about in Tantra. You know, it's not really a virgin type of woman.
So the tigress is a virgin, or what did you say? Okay, explain.
It's in a way that is a virgin, yes. The mind state and what they have to achieve is to go back to, let's say, teenager times, if they can. That's why normally they should start within 30 years old. It's not because after 30 years it's not possible. It is possible, but it becomes really much harder to go with the clock, let's say, backwards. And maybe also your life, you know, pushed you in a way that it's also difficult for the mind state, not only physical, but only for the mind. So yes, one of the statements is the tiger is kind of a, let's say, virgin, unmarried, and we don't say virgin that she doesn't have sex. She can have, like the teenagers do, like the first times, you know. So, and actually also it can recall to other older pre-Christian traditions that were calling these free women the virgins. It didn't mean that they didn't have sex. It meant that they were unmarried and you could not have them. So yes, that's another stereotype of the tiger. It's not really the one that the typical woman of the tantric experiences, so one that she don't know what she's doing, it's not possible. Okay, your turn.
Okay. So lots of people do oral sex all the time. Was there anything different between how they do it and how the White Tigress does it?
There are some differences because you have to keep some kind of control. You need to learn some techniques. And of course, for a woman, it's more beneficial to do that than intercourse. But if she's not aware of that, it's no use, So it's like to say, yes, salad is very healthy to eat, but if the person don't know, it doesn't help. So then there are some things that you must do during this practice. And the person that has it, it's very difficult that they realize something is happening, but sometimes they do. So sometimes they wonder something is happening, but it's not like all the time.
So the receiver, the dragon, may or may not be aware of what's happening in the process, is what you're saying.
Normally they are not aware of what's happening, but some of them realize something is happening, but they don't know what is happening.
Right. So you don't need a special man for this.
It would be nice to have, but as I was talking to you yesterday, it's something like hard, if not impossible, to achieve, because or they are in the dragon path, or especially in the West, people don't have this respect, let's say, for esotericism, So even if you are burning incenses, or if you are doing this, the person, normally the partner wants, to become part of your life, and decide things with you, which is also one of the reasons why it's very dangerous to say dangerous. I say it like this, of course, it's not dangerous to say what you are doing. It would be nice, and sometimes it's nice to let them know something is happening, and maybe explain them later on if they are interested, or if they, they start to have this kind of doubts and feelings that, you are doing something different, So it is possible, but I wouldn't advise to point on that.
So does that mean, so when you talk about hunting, this sounds really funny. I have this vision of you like going out to a bar and, I'm thinking of vampires kind of a little bit, like I'm going to suck your blood. Actually, I know some real vampires, so I know that people who do this, right?
Okay, this I mean. Okay, no, I'm not this somebody we see this interview, so to say, no, I know one vampire only, and that's Don Henry. So, but it's a guy, so maybe it's different.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's all sorts of crazy things out there, but I picture you going by these singles bars and then just flirting with men, and then do they go in the bathroom, or you take them home, or like I'm just wondering what the hunt looks like. I'm sure other people would be too.
In this, I think time, place, and situation changes the rules of the game, let's say like this. Nowadays, I don't know if I would do something like that, but in the ancient times, they were doing exactly like this, going around and chasing guys, especially young guys, and they were chasing monks. Nowadays, I think with technology and with internet, it is easier. In a way, it is easier, but I don't say it is easy at all. So yeah, basically we behave like vampires, yes. It is actually, it's one of the things that Taoist masters on the dragon path say, that the Tigress path is the they have a vampire way of doing, and they find this disgraceful. Okay, but in the same time, they are also doing vampire actions, but in a different way. So, you know, they say it's wrong, but then there's no point to be in a path that requires sexual activity, you know. So if you need to collect energy, you need to collect energy. You cannot produce energy by yourself. You are not a central, you know, power central. You are not this kind of thing. So you need to collect from others to produce the electricity. That's why you cannot do it all by yourself.
So you can't do, so it's impossible to just meditate or dance or something to have the energy yourself, or supplement.
You can have, you know, you can have help from other realms that can help you, but basically you need the opposite part, because otherwise electricity doesn't come. I know that, I think Mantiak Chia was saying that it's possible to do by yourself. I don't say it is impossible at all, but I think you are gonna miss something. It's like if you get a cake, you need a full cake. One little piece in the corner is missing, you know, and you don't have the full cake. It looks full, but you don't have it. So I think basically you need to do this one way or another.
So how intensively, how often do you have to do this? Does this mean like every night you've got this ritual, or twice a day, or once a week, or what is this like?
Look, normally it will be as often as possible. But logically, this is completely impossible. So sometimes you manage to do this 4, 5, 6, 7 times a month, 10 times. Other times it's nothing. So it's like the tiger in the nature. Sometimes she gets a big prey, sometimes she gets many little preys, and sometimes she's hungry. So there are no rules over that. That's why in one the tiger that works with the periodical jade dragons, if she can trust these jade dragons and they are loyal, it's easier in that case, because periodically they know that they have to do this. But otherwise, you are all by yourself. You can starve. Yes, you can starve. And when you starve, you start to have physical problems.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a risk. You take the risk.
Okay, so, and this has to be physical, right? You can't just transfer energy over space or through meditation or anything?
I think as we are in flesh and blood, and this path as the goal of physical restoration, it's not possible unless you have the luck to meet a god or a goddess. Then maybe they can do this kind of stuff, you know, but between humans, no. No.
So it requires physical contact, physical exchange of, so basically you somehow, if I'm understanding, you awaken energy in the fluid and then you exchange the fluid or receive the fluid. Is that how it works?
The fluid as the energy that you need in this case.
Okay, so people talk about that, and I've heard about, you know, vitamins, minerals, whatever.
Can be part of it, but I think there is something else that maybe it's encoded in the DNA, because I think that's the more realistic option. But it's not just minerals and vitamins. It's something else.
Okay. And you kind of have to cultivate it or foster it or whatever through the process.
No, it is really fast.
Oh, it's really fast.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah, when as soon as you have it, as soon as you drink it, it is in, let's say, maximum half an hour, 1 hour time you need to transform this.
Okay, so can we talk about this? Can I ask details here, questions?
You can try.
So, but when you, like I said, if this is so powerful, like, what is the difference? Other people, other women, other men, they have sex, oral sex often, and, you know, porn stars, whatever, but they don't have the necessarily all of the benefits, right?
They may have, we don't know, because we should see the you know, each case, what is going on, you know. But no, it's not just this, because you need to transform the energy that you, the power that you get, you must transform it. It's not just that I drink this and directly it works. No.
So you transform after ingesting is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
And do you need to transform it before it's released as well? No, doesn't matter.
Before? What do you mean before?
So like, so it doesn't need to be special semen or anything, right?
Not with colors.
What?
No, I was joking.
No,
I
with
said,
colors, yeah.
No. Before it's not possible, because it needs to have. It's not the fluid itself. It's the fluid in the contact with your body, and then when there is this, let's say, polarity meet, from that you have what you need. It is not just from the fluid. If you find another source, you go for the other source. That's why they were using supplements, because supplements, you can avoid to, let's say that you need less praise with supplements than without supplements. So it is one way, but basically what you need is, let's say, the match of the polarities, not just one.
So the polarity of the dragon has to match? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let's say like the fluid is the positive energy, let's say like this.
Yeah.
It has to have contact with the negative energy of the body of the tigress. And what is in there must be transformed in physical restoration and spiritual energy.
Okay.
So it's not just the fluid itself.
Okay, so there you're getting back to the tantric stuff and the Montauk Chia stuff that I'm familiar with. You talk about the polarities and the woman having the plus pole in the heart and the
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it is all this practice have, you know, basically the same root. But the fluid itself, it's not working, you know. So I mean, like, it's like to say, like a woman for a man is the way to achieve immortality. No, because if this, you know, there is no contact or anything, doesn't help, you know. So it's the same thing. It's what's happening between the two forces that creates, let's say, okay, let's make it simple in biology. When the egg gets fertilized, that's when the life is born. Not just because there is an egg or sperm that you know that you have this. It's the meat of them that creates the life. So that's basically what's happening in this sexual practice. It's to get similar to this, but not that, because that is other thing.
Okay. And is that the main practice? Is that what you do for this, or what else do you have to know?
What do you mean?
So we have these sexual practices, these oral sexual practices. The woman is receiving, the man is.
Let's say that this is one of the main parts, but it's not only, because as I said before, there are other activities to do at the same time, like the It can be through dance, it can be martial arts, it can be physical exercises. You need to have, as I said, your body as maximum, as when you have to think that you need to become strong when you are 15. You understand? So it's not enough to do this. It's the basic, yes. And then also from my side, but I think it's not only just for me, there are something like rituals of connections with this goddess. For the Chinese is the White Tigress. For others, it may have another name, but the characteristics are the same. And what gives you, what you see in your life, what manifests, it is the same. So I think this is also something that helps a lot, but not without the practice of physical stuff.
Okay. So if someone is interested in this, do they just contact you, or how do they proceed down the path? Read the book, just follow the book?
They can contact me, of course. Reading the book of Xilai is very helpful, but I've seen around very strange things, and also like advice is missing many details, and I see this how we call this pollution of the dragon path in this big here and there, which is not really helpful. So I would be glad if somebody's interested to learn and to start without also taking major health risks, because some things you need to follow with the doctor, and maybe even more than one. So it depends on your state, your situation, you need to see many things. And also from your horoscope, you can see if you have this chance to be a successful white tiger or not.
Well, in a time like today, I mean, families are breaking down and the traditions are all gone, and there's very many single people, and this may be the time for this to really explode and be explored. What do you think?
It could be, but as I said, many will drop. Maybe we'll fall on the way, because let's say tomorrow 50 people start. They see this video and 50 people tomorrow they start. Very good. From these 50 people, I think only 1 or 2, they will continue up to 5 years.
So it's why? Because it's such hard work, or
because the desire for family or a partner will be stronger, because maybe they will have situations like they will think that they can make it up and it doesn't make it up. Many situations, or sudden pregnancy, for example, it can also be one of the factors. So as I said, for a period of life, it can be beneficial to more. And we can figure it out like this. There are few tigresses in the world. Most are yellow and really few are white. And they are disappearing. So we can figure it out in this way of speech, but I would not advise to a girl that she wishes for love to get in this path. Maybe she can find some love, but if she has this goal, it's better she gives up. Another important point is also men can practice the tiger path in a different way than the women. Like the women join the dragon path. But if I would advise to somebody, if it's a man, I would advise to take the dragon path. But if they insist, they can try.
So how does the dragon path and the differ? What is there?
You mean for men or for women?
Well, for men, what would the Jade Dragon path look like?
Not Jade Dragon. They can take the Tiger's path.
Right, but the Jade Dragon path was for
Then
that.
they go out. They go hunt praying the women.
And then
They go hunting the women.
and is it also the same? So oral sex, or how does this work?
No, for the men it's not the same.
I didn't think so. Yeah.
No, it's not the same. So as I said, you can try, but it can be, you know, harmful. It is the same. Like, you know that this is made for women and this is made for men, but it's in the Tao, you have these polarities that they are not all white or black, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some that maybe for them it's better to be in the Tigress path, but they are not many. So I would not advise it, but they can try.
And how long have you been doing White Tigress?
The call was very long ago. I have to say more than 5 years, much more than 5 years.
And
but you know, something stopped me at a certain point when I wanted to start. And when I could find, like, I could start it again for real, I decided I would not give it, you know, I would not give up again. So I thought, because I had a vision saying I saw the White Tigress, and I think it's not something really common because I didn't see many pictures of her, and I didn't even know she was connected to the color green. I found it as a sign that she won't give me a second chance, a third chance. So if I give up now, I won't have another one.
so I had somebody who watched your video in Italian about this on YouTube.
I don't know, because my channel is really anonymous. So maybe some people will. I don't know, because I change channels and the forms, you know, sometimes like a chameleon, you know. So I do this harm to myself, but I enjoy it so much that I cannot avoid it. Maybe this time, you know, I will keep because this path needs to survive. So I will do, you know, some things, you know, to avoid that I do the chameleon and sneak around. So I will, you know, let's say, make available easy to contact me, you know, or find, you know, sources about this. I have to work out something, of course, like website, you know, and things like that. I'm not really a master for these things, so I will be slow.
We can figure it out.
Yeah.
We can get you some help. So we're at about an hour now, and I think it's kind of an interesting, good place to make a first pause. Is there anything that you do want to say more about it, or you want to express specifically?
Well, what I can say, I think it's something as a disclaimer, because maybe we can have another other meetings. If anyone wants to take Angelica sinensis for any reason, please consult a professional pharmacist in Chinese medicine and Western medicine, because it can be not compatible with other drugs. And you must know that this herb is working. You have effects from it. And if you are not happy with fully the effects that you can have, you must not take it. So consult a doctor and specialist in Chinese and Western medicine before taking Angelica sinensis. Don't take it like a candy.
Okay, good to know. So talk to a Western doctor, a Chinese doctor, get some good. So that's interesting that you say, okay, despite the fact that you have this miraculous miracle thing, medicine would say what you're doing is impossible. Most people would say this is impossible. This doesn't exist,
no,
right?
No, I will say that nowadays biology won't say that it's impossible. because they are researching or rejuvenating the body. So I don't think they will say it's impossible.
Okay.
Nowadays,
yeah.
maybe 20 years ago, they will say it's impossible.
Okay. So you think they're more open for it? Is it now the time then to be open? And
yeah, I think they are getting close to it, because also all the transhumanism is leading to rejuvenate the body. And beside what everybody is saying, that they are so evil and whatever, I want to see a person that lose an eye to not get a mechanical one or a new one from his own cells. I want to see if they are keen to make this sacrifice to say that they are evil. So this is, something, maybe it is time. And Taoism and these two practices that they have roots in the magic, they are the only ones that keep the tradition of the rejuvenation of the body, because most of the other traditions don't do that. Shamanism, any kind of shamanism in America, they don't work for this. So if they did, we lost the track. Right. So they work on other things. They don't work on this. So it's not impossible. Of course, with all this, the ways that we have, it's very difficult. And that's why I said, if you don't have physical results, there are two reasons. You are not made for it. You have some disease and you don't know. And therefore the energy is going to heal and keep your body healthy. Or you're doing something wrong and you need to find out. Or you are not doing something enough, So otherwise you must have some even little results on this.
Now, have you taught other tigresses?
I tried, I proposed, but as I said, most women, they go for love and family. So as I said, even if you see like talent or something, and you see, this person, but maybe she wake up when she's like 40, and it's too late to achieve what she could achieve like easy. So I would be glad to find people like more committed, at least for a period of time, to also to experiment what is happening, because you can do it also to experiment and see like if this is really working, if I have some benefit from it, if I feel better, or it's only a way of, pain for me, so it's not worth it. Or even if it's pain, but it's a pain that I think it's worth for something. It depends, but there are not really many. And the most tigers I was talking about, they all quit it.
Right. So I'm curious, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but like, do you have a real life too, a normal life? What do you do? And
it is part of my life. It is part of my life. There are not divided things in here. When you take an esoteric path, it must be part of your life. Otherwise, it means it's not meant for you. So yeah, it's not like you say like I go to the gym, then when I go back home, I have a different life. No, it's not possible. Because it's not, you cannot. It will be like to say, oh yes, I have wife and I say I have husband and kids, and in my free time I go to do the hunting because my husband allows me to do it. No.
Right. But I mean, but no. Somehow, but you also exist in the world, right? You have a job, you have, or
yes, of course. I study, and I was teaching gymnastics and things like that, of course. But this thing they must integrate with your life. Sadly, we don't have a temple like the other Taoists do. So if there will be a temple, it will be easy to to deal with many things. Established, you can focus, other people that come and seek for advices, people that maybe, they need a little bit of help for something. You need to produce special formulas for people, even for ordinary people, and you can do, because you have the people that are studying only for that. So, it's different. So for me at the moment, it is part of my life, but as I decide to speak to the public, I hope it can give a chance for this to become something bigger.
Right.
And a chance in women that want to maybe join Tantrism, but not the mainstream Tantrism, because for women it is dangerous. So that's why I do this. That's why I'm talking. Because
So,
I could keep hiding in the forest and you won't see me, you know.
well, I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, I decided to do because, as I said, I saw the situation really sad and desperate.
So a lot of us are talking about this. So do you see a time where we can reestablish these temples?
I think it is possible, like they did for Taoism. It is possible to do even in small places. You know, they can start, you know, to do something for this, and then, you know, they grow bigger. You know, of course, they don't mean to establish the religion, because anyway, somehow it's part of Taoism. You know, but to give a chance to open another door and say, here, like they made in ancient times, women escape from marriage and they don't have a place where to go. Yeah, okay, welcome, you can come here until you find yourself, you know. Or you know, also husband escape and maybe, you know, seek help, and, you know, can come to you know, a place to stay or something like that. This can be one reason why these places should start to exist. Or maybe they go there just to have a consult with a specialist, you know, and you know, this kind of things. So I think there could be a place, and there are places instead to have like small, to do something more than just sell things, you know.
Right, exactly.
And celebrations.
Say it again.
We can
What?
have parties. Celebrations, we can have parties, you know, to celebrate. Yeah. Yeah, of course, but it is part of this, you know. So
Beautiful. I love it. Exciting. Okay, was
so
there go ahead.
no, I mean, like, so it's your turn if you have, you know, other questions or
I'm looking through all of our conversation yesterday that I took the notes of. Yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of elements of this, and I think we should definitely continue the conversation. But I think unless there's anything you want to say more about this right now, we can make a pause here.
No, I think also because otherwise it will become too long for the people listening, you know.
Okay.
So we can figure out, you know, another time and see, you know, if some other questions comes up from people, you know, from the public, watch the video, maybe they have questions, you know, some of them we can answer. So
Okay, fantastic. So if you have questions about this and you want to contact me, you can go to ryanauroch.com and or Google Ryan Auroch and send a message on any of my websites and you'll get an answer. And if people want to get a hold of you, how would you like them to do that?
oh, yeah, they can do it to the email, the light of the stars at gmail.com.
Okay.
Or we can write it, you know, in the video, you know, under the video.
Precisely. We will do that. The light of the stars at gmail.com. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Zephira. Very deep, powerful conversation, and I look forward to more soon.
Okay, thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.